Good morning everyone, this is Nadia Binti Mohamad Zuki. My metric number is 057116 and I'm from Band 5B. Today we are going to learn about chapter 4, which is organizational settings. Now the first part in organizational settings is origins within organizations. Now you must be wondering, how does a public relation department exist in an organization? Actually, public relations practitioners used to work as a low-level support function in organizations. However, they evolved to take a vital role in the management team. Now, for example, they went from writing news status and website updates to announcing achievements and corporate success to CEO speech writing and as company's media contact to the public. And finally, to maintaining relationships with investors, financial analysts, government agencies, and many more. So, in order to keep their positions in the management team, public relations practitioners must strive to achieve organizational goals and promote stability in their field with a quantifiable results. Other than that, we have to retain outside counsel. Outside counsel or agency or firm are hired by the organization to bring new, fresh, and different perspectives from internal management. Outside counselors may be a big help in resolving clients' issues regarding the organization's products and services. Therefore, it is important to remember that both internal management and outside counselors can resolve a crisis effectively with their differences in perspectives and skills.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Atiqah binti Mohamad Anwar. My matrix number is 055483. In order for an organization to have good PR, they need to have excellent top management first. CEOs are always the one who is responsible for setting the course and becoming the public face in responding to crisis. Let's look at these examples. In May 2021 this year, a head-on collision occurred between a manually driven anti-train and an automated train carrying passengers on Kelana Jaya line between Kampung Baru and KLCC stations. Prasarana Chairman Tajudin Abdul Rahman gave us his statement during the news conference the next day. However, not only did he not wear a face mask, but he also cracked jokes about the incident and showed how unprofessional he was about the matter. He also stated that when the incident occurred, he had just got home from work and his vaccine was the day after. Hence, why he couldn't come to the accident site. His actions caused uproar and brought anger to the people.
Ya, saya melihat sendiri keadaannya bagaimana. You want many people? No, banyak soalan. Two cars are now together, they kiss each other.
A petition was made with over 100,000 signatures gathered. In the end, he was removed from his position 2 days after the accident. Okay, now let's look how Johnson & Johnson handled their crisis. Johnson & Johnson's top management put customer safety first, immediately pulling the product off retail shelves and recalling Tylenol capsules in the United States and abroad. Even though the only known product tampering cases and deaths were limited to the Chicago area, management took these dramatic steps. Media coverage praised the company's socially responsible actions, reported the company's cooperation with federal agencies, and gave full coverage to later announcement of new tamper-resistant packaging. So, what should top management do? There are few things that top management need to do before they can create an excellent PR. These things are: the first one, commitment to and participation in public relations. 2. Retention of competent public relations counsel. 3. Incorporation of public relations perspectives and policy making. 4. Two-way communication with both internal and external publics. 5. Coordination of what is done with what is said. And 6. Clearly defined goals and objectives. Only after securing this thing that I had just mentioned can a company make a good PR.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Najmi Hazim, Mohd Rauzia. Metric number is 056902 from Band 5B. Thank you to the previous presenter. Now I'll continue on role and decision making. So, role in decision making. There are like line versus staff management and the factors influencing public relation participation in the management. Now, line versus staff management. Well, line functions usually encompass product and profit generating functions. If you don't know, line functions is implying to the higher ups such as the president of the company. Line functions are advised and assisted by the members of the staff function. Staff function can only support the line functions rather than making their own moves. Their purpose is not to stand out, but more to assist to make the company better. Public relation is also known as the staff function as it provides guidance and assistance to the line managers who are in charge of the organizational operation. Here is the line staff organization chart. As you can see that the chairman or the board of directors, president, also known as the chief executive officer, and below it are the vice presidents in their own branches. You can see that the public relation is categorized as a staff function and it is below the president in the support area. Next, we move on to the factors in influencing public relations participation in the management. There are 5 factors to be touched, which the first one is proximity and access. Well, proximity and access is basically accessibility and confrontation. When the staff function and line function is placed in the nearer to each other, more accessible to each other, it creates a better flow of work. It also removes boundaries in the hierarchical meeting. Organizational changes in the terms of structure or management is just reorganizing management to enhance roles of public relations. It can enhance or maybe decrease the role of public relations in the company, depends on how it's handled. Next is the characteristic of the practitioners, which is the personal credibility of the practitioners. This basically identifies the person's lacks of broad business experience, passivity, naivete of organization, politics, technical education, and so on. Extent to which function engages in various types of research is the fourth one. That is the major determinant of public relations participation in management. It focuses on research like organizational intelligence, environmental scanning for the planning, and metrics. Basically, the more research is done, the more participation in the public relations staff and conduct planning decision-making activities is done. Final one is the degree to which line managers and practitioners view public relations as part of the management team. To sum it up, when public relations operates in the realm of program decisions, it is seen as the part of organization routine and overhead. But when it's participates in the non-program decision making, it is seen as playing an important strategic role in achieving organizational goals and contributing to the bottom line. So that's all for my part. I will pass it to the next presenter. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohd Irsyaduddin bin Zulkifli. My metric number is 057066 and I'm from BAM 5A. Thank you to my fellow friends for the presentation earlier. Today I'm going to continue our topics today, which is the internal department. Internal department is defined as the most prevalent organizational structure for public relation. A department may consist of as minimal as one person or a small group of people or a few amounts of people, a large number of people, or even a mass number of people, depends on organizations that are running the organizational structure of the company itself. The purpose, the structure and position of the organizational system of the public relation department varies from organization to organizations. Nonetheless, there is usually one public relation leader at that department on that company organizational structure. For further information on public relation department organizational structure, you may refer to the slideshow that we provide to you earlier. An internal department has at least 4 factors that are working in its favor. First and foremost, team membership. Second, knowledge of the organization. Third, economy to organization for ongoing programs. And last but not least, availability to associates. First and foremost, let's talk about team membership. Team membership is the department's greatest advantage over outside counsel. In certain firms, the Senior Public Relations Administrator office is right adjacent to the CEO office, which means the interaction between the public relation officers and supervisors is the norm rather than the exception. The communication between both parties, the supervisors and the lower class of workers, are going interchangeably without any distraction because the office is located strategically. Next, I'm going to talk about the economy to the organization for ongoing program. Economy may occur from typically lower overhead costs and efficient integration in an organization. When the requirement for public relations is ongoing, as it is in most organizations, a full-time and permanent staff is usually less expensive than outside representations. To put in simple meanings, if an organization has the public relation department inside their organizational structure, the cost of handling matters will be much more cheap rather than appointing an outside firm to handle their matter. Then, the internal department also have access for the public relation workers availability to associate with higher rank people in the organization, because as I mentioned earlier, when the location of the department is strategically close, this helps the public relation workers to consult those people that in a high ranking management team if anything happen that goes wrong from what they predict for. This will help to nurture the public relation workers' skills in handling such crises, which may help them to handle more serious matter that may be entrusted by the higher people management for them in the near future, which will increase their skills of handling those situations, and the outcome will become more brighter than before. Last but not least, knowledge of the organization comes the best from people that are inside rather than outside. The company wants to lower their costs of operation. Therefore, they need a response team that will give more answers to what they are seeking for and options that are there but they cannot think of. When you are appointing an outside firm, it costs you a lot of money for their brainstorming session. Meanwhile, if you have an public organizational internal department in that organization, it helps you further to demonstrate the idea or even work on that idea among yourself and find the solid conclusion at the end, because it involves the people inside which has all the relations, all the connection, all the other authority access that they know, and how to connect with people that are suitable for that work, and how to handle that matter with who they think suit the best. Not all things seems good, including the internal department. An internal department has at least 3 factors that are against them. First of all, the loss of objectivity. Second, domination and subservience. And third, last but not least, confused missions and roles. Loss of objectivity can happen even so slowly and unwittingly, as practitioners are subjected to day-to-day pressure and workplace politics. In order not to rock the boat, they may be unnecessarily swayed and compromised by group belief while supporting and being supported. Their capacity to provide neutral and objective perspective loses way to subjectivity that is detrimental to people that were required to advise. They lost the capacity to cross boundaries in order to prevent or resolve issues in the organization's connection with others. Practitioners, in fact, run the danger of becoming part of the issues. After all, they put in a lot of effort to join and remain a member of the management team. Meanwhile, domination and subservience result when the functions become co-opted, resulting into a group of yes men and women. It's one thing to be a team player and helps others. It's quite another to get sidetracked from objective planning and strategy to do errands for others. Practitioners tread a fine line between delivering important, helpful, and valued professional services and offering low-level technical assistance that is readily replaceable. In addition, practitioners must avoid inactivity because they are afraid of making what they perceive to be a career-threatening move or choice, since this weakens their status as a trusted advisor to senior management. Last but not least, confused mission and roles can result from being readily available. Practitioners frequently function as stands-in for senior executives who make pledges but do not or cannot follow through. For example, suppose a CEO accepts an offer to serve on the board of a neighborhood philanthropic organization but find it difficult to attend the meetings. The practitioner is summoned to appear in the CEO absence. One may argue that this demonstrates the CEO confidence in the public relation officer ability to successfully represent the business. That is such a huge praise. However, the external constitution, on the other hand, are rarely thrilled to have a public relation person instead of the CEO. They accept the change in order to keep the organization backing and the right to put the CEO's name on the letterhead. So that's all from me explaining the internal department. I hope you all can understand, and if you do not have to understand, you can ask me the question later on. Next, I will pass the presentation to my friend. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nurul Atiqah Syafika Binti Nadzri. My matric number is 055941 and I'm from band 5B. So in my part, I will talk about the two last subtopic of the internal departments, which is department titles and reporting relationship. Let me start with the first topic, which is department titles. So in general, titles can be different for the same position. So it is the same case here in public relations. Some organizations use public relations, corporate relations, and public affairs for the same position. But among all, the most famous titles in government and non-government sector is public information. But at the end, it is still about the same thing, the same job, and the same scope, which is public relation. Second part, reporting relationships. So reporting relationships is a term that refer to an organization hierarchy or organization chart, which explain where every worker is placed with their position in that organization. So here is the simple organization chart that I found. We can see clearly how each worker was placed along with their position in the organization. The relationship happens when, as an example, the salesperson who works under the sales officer need more staff to cover their shortage. So they will report about this problem to their sales officer. So from the salesperson, it will be passed to the sales officer and will pass to manager and CEO. It is almost impossible for the worker to report directly to the CEO. Unlike any workers in the company, PR executive usually will report directly to the CEO and president about anything, especially when there is crisis occur. So in that case, only CEO and president opinions are all matter. As you can see in this organization chart, PR practitioners have a direct relationship with the president and CEO. That explains how big and how crucial the PR practitioner in a company. I think that's all from our groups. So if you have any questions, don't forget to ask about anything in Telegram group, and hope you guys will learn something from this video and have a nice day ahead. Thank you.